Welcome to the fundamental update for February 22nd, 2026. Now, I need you all to pay close attention. If you have been following the channel, you know I drop fundamental updates every single weekend. And I give us an update to what happened previous week and what is going to happen the current week. Now, this video or this information I give you all, a lot of people have given me testimonies that they use it to start their week great. Sometimes, I'm not going to say every time I'm right, sometimes the information comes out differently. Why? Because over the week the fundamentals change. So that's what I'm here to let you all know, that fundamentals can change. So what is my advice? My advice is you should stay active in the Telegram channel. I'm going to try as much as possible to keep you all updated in the Telegram channel this week in case anything should change. And first of all, before we go into anything, let us look at what happened in the previous week. We had dollar, which a lot of you look at. So let's look at dollar first of all. What happened in dollar? Is dollar bullish? Is dollar bearish? We are all confused. So firstly, I've said first of all a lot of times. Well, I would say dollar is in between, because the first news we had on dollar was the one in which the Supreme Court said that Trump is not going to, continue with his 10% tariff. Now, this was a bad news to dollar, but this was a good news to the economy and stock. I'll explain. Now, usually when tariff is being announced, right, tariff is sometimes is an economic uncertainty depending on which currency. Now, for dollar, if tariff should be announced and that tariff is not affecting dollar, especially if it's Trump that is releasing tariff on another economy or another nation, most times it's going to give dollar a bullish move. Let me switch my battery saver off. All right, so most times it's going to give dollar a bullish move. Do you understand? Because it is a good news for dollar. Why is it a good news for dollar? Inflation increases when tariff announcement is being made. So if inflation increases in an economy, like chances is that they are going to hike interest rate. This will bring investors to buy this particular currency. And let's not forget, dollar is also a risk-off currency. We keep forgetting. Why? Because most of the time this economic uncertainty affects dollar negatively, so that's why we see dollar will drop a bit. So dollar is also a risk of currency. So when they declare tariff usually affects dollar, and this will make dollar to actually go positive. So that's what happens. But they cancel the tariff implementation on dollar, and then this made the dollar bearish for a while. Now, after that, we saw that Trump now made a declaration that saying that even though the Supreme Court have cancelled the tariff announcement, he's still going to implement it. And this was what gave dollar another bullish rise. You see, it was a very, very confusing week. And not only that, PCE news came out on dollar, which was positive. PCE is personal consumption expenditure. Let's look at the economic calendar and see what I'm talking about. So this is personal consumption expenditure. I thought I said this. Why is this misbehaving? Let's just set it again. This is the personal consumption expenditure, and this shows you the inflation rate of an economy. If inflation is rising on dollar, it means that this is good for the economy, and we can see it came out green, right? It came out green. This is positive, which means inflation is rising. And I told you all that this year the Fed has seen positivity of cutting interest rates, but since inflation came out positive, they are not cutting interest rates anytime soon. Dollar rose in price. So you see, all these things are what is making the forex market look a little bit confusing, a little bit, news coming in with different results. This is making a zigzag pattern, and this is why a lot of us are confused, knowing is dollar bullish, is dollar bearish. I'll tell you all that for now I'm neutral on dollar as well, because I gave a signal on Euro USD and it did not play out well last week, right? That is due to the fact that news came out differently. And now that's what I'm about to tell you, and that's what I said in the beginning of this video. News can change over time. I might give you this fundamental update on Sunday, or on Tuesday something different will happen. Do you understand? So I also got liquidated at this zone. And will I keep trading euro USD? Will I start trying to find entry here? I will tell you no. I will just observe, because this actually looks like a good key level to also still find entry, but I will just observe. Do you understand? I will observe, because dollar now is a bit confusing. Is dollar bullish? Is dollar bearish? We don't know yet. I just gave you all news to why dollar was bullish, and also a news to why dollar was bearish. So this is a conflicting information. In macroeconomics, we call this convergence. When you have conflicting informations, you don't trade it. You understand? I have a 2 years experience when it comes to macroeconomics, and I can tell you for a fact, whenever you have confusing fundamentals, like fundamentals coming out positive on one currency and then the next 2 days it comes out negative on the currency again, do not trade that currency. It will likely not end well. Well, speaking of macroeconomics, for those who are interested in learning more about it, I used to let you all know that our premium mastery class is still going on, and it is still at a discount, right? It's still at $43. So now remember, these are for people who want to learn macroeconomics. This is not my forex class. Do you understand? Macroeconomics is fundamental related. I usually explain this. Macro mastery class is for forex traders who want to advance in their knowledge. It's a 6 months training, right? You are going to learn everything about the fundamental market. You're going to learn how to take trade like this. One thing I can brag about is that I've taken a lot of trade in macro in using fundamentals, and most of the times I make good amount of profit from it. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. I'm not someone that just learned something online and just come and start telling you, oh no. Macroeconomics is not something you find on YouTube. I bet you go and search it up on YouTube, you wouldn't find it. So this is something that you can only learn from someone who is very, very good at it, because to teach you about the economy, to teach you about how the economy can affect a currency, and to teach you how to apply this to trading. So you'll be killing two birds with one stone. You'll be learning more about economics, and you'll also be learning more about trading. So let's keep going. Let's go back to the chart and see what we also have for this week. Now you can see gold is bullish right now, right? Gold is bullish. Why is gold bullish? Because the tariff announcement is still in the air. I told you all that gold is a commodity and is a risk-off commodity, which means investors run to gold on times of uncertainty. So due to the fact that we're having uncertainty, gold is still bullish. Will gold keep on being bullish? For now, yes, I think gold will keep on being bullish, but we might see a little bit of range, because I told you last week was very confusing. In fact, this month have been really, really confusing, and a lot of you have been complaining that you're having a little bit of losses. I want you to understand that in trading, we have months like this, and it's perfectly normal. When the months get back to normal, you start making a lot of good profit from the market. But for now, I'll tell you to be very careful, because gold can still, range at this particular zone. If it breaks out, then that's very good. You can now start buying it. But gold is still very much bullish. Do you understand? If I find any entry on gold, I'm going to hold it for a very, very long time. So that is just simply it. Now, let us go to the most favorable currency that will tell you all that I understand it perfectly, which is the AUD. Now, I remember posting this setup on my WhatsApp status, telling you all that if AUD comes back to that key level, AUD USD comes down to this key level, you should find an entry. A lot of my students took it, a lot of you slept on it, a lot of you forgot about it, because it took it at least 2 weeks before it got down to this key level. Now, even I myself, I would say I did not really send this to the signal channel, because in the signal channel we are having a little bit of drawdown. Now, my take is, last week we made profits from GBP card, right? But GBP card did not get to our TP. Let me show you all something. GBP card did not get to our TP, so we ended it at second TP. You understand? This is GBP card, right? Yes. Where is the trade? Okay, look at it. We made like 50 something pips at this zone, but our target was 90 pips. So due to this, we were very, very cautious. And the week, I told you all, the week wasn't really good because of the market volatility and all. So we were very, very cautious when it came to trading. Even Euro USD did not go well for us. So because of that, we did not really take much trade on AUD USD. We didn't really enter this. But I would say, if you are one of those people that missed the entry, I took it in my big account, don't get me wrong. I took the trade, but I didn't send it to the signal channel for my own specific reason. I love making sure that my VIP members don't have much losses. So I wouldn't want them to have another loss. And this was a Friday. It was triggered on a Friday, right? And you can see there was a massive liquidity sweep. A lot of you that put tight SL would have actually gotten swept out. But if you want to find another good entry, this is a good entry. In case the market retraces back to this other block over here, you can take your entry for a buy. Why am I saying I'm sure of a buy? Because AUD economy is doing well. AUD recently had a good unemployment rate, which was coming out lower than expected, which is positive for the economy. AUD are currently looking for expectations of further rate hikes. All these things is making AUD economy very, very good. And I myself, I made a mistake last week looking for a sell on AUD JPY before the news change, and then because of that we actually had another hit on AUD JPY, but it was not really much. We just had a little bit of minus 14 pips on AUD JPY. I want you all to understand that sometimes things like this happen, and I'm just being purely honest and transparent with you all. That's what most forex traders wouldn't do. I'm the type of person that will tell you, oh, I had a loss, and if I have a win, I will tell you, I'll brag about it too as well. I had a win, because my wins usually supersede my losses. That's one thing I can brag about. You can see how tight the SL is. If I would have made profit from this would have been up to like 100+ profit, but we had a hit on this, and that is really bad. And I would say it's my fault, because AUD is actually doing well. I would have actually just looked for an order block entry here to buy the currency, but I had a specific reason why I went for this type of trade, because I trade using fundamentals. IFO means I was hoping the employment rate would come out negative, but it came out positive and it went against me. So that is just simply it. Would it keep buying? Definitely to keep buying. And if you look at more reasons why I actually went for a sell, was because I was drawing this as my trend, and the market obviously broke the trend, right? I thought maybe if it comes back here we would have a little bit of retracement, but for what I'm seeing, this trend is still valid in the day one time frame. Let us do some analysis together. Let's learn something new. This trend is still valid in the daily time frame. We can see from here, you understand, it's still very much valid in the daily time frame, and is still going very much higher. So if you are holding AUD JPY on the buy, keep holding it. If you haven't found entry, well, you can still find entry. AUD economy is what I am sure of. Australian economy is doing well. Inflation is rising. They are seeing results, or they are seeing more reasons to hike interest rates. And what else? The employment rate is actually rising too as well. So that's just simply it. For JPY, I think I'm now having a clear bias on JPY, but will I tell you should trade JPY pairs? No. Why? Because JPY economy is weak now. You understand? JPY economy is weak now, but you can see CAD JPY, which is one of my favorite JPY currency, has been ranging. I haven't actually taken any trade on CAD JPY since this year, and I plan on keeping it that way until I see a trend, because for now it's just a ranging market. I don't trade ranging market. And if you're watching this, either if you're a student of mine or you're not a student of mine, my advice for you is never trade a ranging market. You get why? So that is it for JPY pair. JPY is actually dropping. Why? Because the inflation rate is dropping. They are no longer seeing reasons to hike interest rates. The economy is not really doing well, so JPY is becoming weak. CAD JPY, that was why it rose a bit. USD JPY too might keep rising. I'm not really sure of dollar. It has confusing confluence, which the fundamentals are coming out positive and negative. But this week, at least, I think dollar will become certain. We might see a certain news on dollar. I think I've explained all concerning my currency of focus, because I told you USD JPY and AUD is my currency of focus. A student of mine came to me and said I should analyze NZD USD. So let me do that. I told you all can come to me and tell me in my WhatsApp chat what currency you want me to analyze, and I will add that for you and I'll analyze it for you, giving you the fundamentals and also giving you what you should do when it comes to that currency. So let me fulfill one of my students' requests. Even if you're not a student of mine, you can actually come to my DM and ask me for a favor like this, and I will do it in the fundamental update, or I can even do it in your DM. That is one of the benefits you have watching this with me. So NZD economy is actually weak. I will give you that. NZD economy is actually weak. Dollar is stronger than NZD economy. Why? Because NZD is seeing reasons to cut interest rates, because they have been hiking interest rates for a very, very long time. That's why it has been bullish, but now they're seeing reasons to cut interest rate. But they kept interest rate on a steady last week. We can see on the economic data here, what is happening. On the economic data here, we can see, let us look at NZD. You can see NZD had a little bit of, let us go back. I thought I said this. So NZD had, the interest rate coming out neutral. Do you understand? Neutral. You can see 2.25%, still 2.25%. So they kept interest rate on a steady, and this made investors to remove their money from it. If they hiked interest rates, if they increased it, it would have made NZD to be more bullish. So that's it, just simply is NZD USD should be bearish. You should look for entries, but I would suggest you shouldn't just jump in. You should wait to see a trend. At least this is the 4 hours time frame, right? This looks like a good key level. Wait to see a trend. Now that the market have tapped on this key level, you can wait to see a trend. After it has broken this trend in the lower time frame, if it starts moving well, you can start trading all the way to the top here. I won't say you should trade more than this, you understand, but once it's looking like a sell, you should continue that sell, because NZD is weak and USD might be stronger than it. But for now, this looks like a kind of chart I wouldn't even trade. Why? Because it looks like a rangy market to me. You understand? I usually tell you, I don't trade charts like this. I prefer if it's trending downwards, or if it's trending upward, than just ranging. Do you understand? So let's look at what we have for this week, and we can call it a day. So JPY will have bank holiday on Monday. JPY currency might not really have much volatility. CNY, that's the Chinese pairs, we're not trading anything Chinese, so we don't really have any focus on that. But bank holiday on JPY, you might still see volatility on USD JPY, because USD is involved, CAD is involved, all those things might still move, but JPY itself is having bank holiday, so don't expect much volatility on JPY pairs. I told you JPY is bearish for the meantime, so you can trade based on that information. But for now, my main focus is AUD. AUD, we have CPI coming out next week, and if the CPI come out positive, this will give more reasons for AUD to be bullish. You can see it's already expected to come out. Oh, it's actually year. This is year. This Y/Y, I've told you all what it means, is year per year. You understand? This other one is month per month. Do you understand? So this one is yearly CPI record and is looking lower than expected. But even if it comes out positive, if the actual come out positive, it will still make the currency move up. USD, we have President Trump to speak on Wednesday. Don't be scared. He might not really say anything that would push the market, but who knows? Trump is actually someone that give very important news, so we might see huge spike in the market. So unemployment claims too as well. That is actually a good one on dollar. If it comes out positive, it means that the unemployment claims is actually good. People are not really unemployed, or they are not claiming to be unemployed. So that is simply it. We have important news, but we don't really have much news. We have PPI on dollar, which is important, GDP card, which is important for card. You understand? All these things are important news, but it's not really something you should be scared of. Make sure to just do your analysis before placing any trade. With that being said, did I drop any analysis for you? Or I don't think I might actually focus on any currency trade this week. I might actually just be looking at gold. I might want to find an entry for gold, because gold is actually very clear. Another one I will advise you all, or I will tell you all to look at, is the AUD USD. Since we know that AUD is very clear, if you can find an entry to buy, sure, that's very good. If you can buy all the way to the top here, that's very good. I think this will be like 120 pips if I'm not mistaken, because this is the 4 hours time frame. You see, these are the type of market I like looking at, the ones that the trends are obvious. Do you understand? The ones that the trends are obvious. If it's ranging, I wouldn't even like it. But you see, this is a very, very obvious trend. And if the market if you want to even keep holding as a swing trader, which I am a swing trader, if I want to keep holding, I can hold all the way to that top. But most times I like taking my first profit, or most of my profits, at the previous area of value. So that's just simply it for the fundamental analysis for this week. I hope you all learned something new. In case you have any question, make sure to come to my DM, ask me your question. In case you have any analysis you want me to look at, I would also do that for you. With that being said, have a lovely trading week ahead, and see you all in the next one. It's going to be a profitable week, right? It's going to be a profitable week. Make sure to use good risk management. Do not over risk, and we're going to make good profit. I'm already on good profit. My portfolio is green. Do you understand? You all should also be aiming for the best too. Trading would actually change your life. Don't give up, guys. Have a lovely week ahead.